Okay, hello, Lippy here. Today we'll be diving into reflective teaching, why it means and what it means, and why it's a big deal in South African education, and how it ties into key documents such as the CAPS document and the MRTQ. So let's get first, we're gonna understand what is CAPS, or we can say the Curriculum and Assessment Policy Statement. This is the official roadmap for teachers in South Africa. This is your main document because it will tell a teacher what content they need to cover, the aims and principles of said subject, and how they should teach it and assess learners. It keeps education standardized but allows room for teachers to be more creative and also responsive. The second document is the MRTEQ, which is the minimum requirements for teaching education qualification. This basically sets the bar for what teachers need to know and what they need to be able to do. It focuses on training teachers to be competent, ethical, and reflective practitioners, ready to handle the classroom realities. You need to be able to handle a child crying, a child saying they want this, your class breaking down. So we also need to understand what do these documents basically entail. So first up, the CAPS. CAPS is about making education accessible. It's about making it clear and it's more learner-centered. It encourages critical thinking, problem solving, and understanding, not just rote learning like everything like this. We give the learner and we leave them like that. But we want learners to understand their work. We want them to ask us as educators questions about their work. We need to promote understanding, create a safe space where learners are free to express themselves in the classroom if they have any problem. The MRTEQ emphasizes producing teachers who are not just transmitters of knowledge, but reflective professionals who engage with their learners and communities. Because not just gonna teach students, you need to understand Uguti. Children come from certain backgrounds. This is why they act like this, like this, like this. It insists on continuous professional growth and ethical. Okay, what do these two documents say about reflective teaching? Both the CAPS and the MRTQ are clear. Reflective teaching is essential. Teachers are expected to regularly evaluate their teaching strategies and outcomes. You can't see that in your classroom, learners are not engaging with me, learners are not answering questions properly. You, as the teacher, need to go back and assess yourself and ask yourself why, how can I structure my lesson next time to promote better understanding. And then it's about learn adapting to learners' needs and improving continuously, which is what I said. Reflective teaching is basically put into the requirements for quality education. Without it, teaching becomes static and ineffective. You just give your learners and you sit down. Give your learners, you sit down. Learners aren't able to understand. They cannot ask you as their educator questions if they don't understand. We must understand now the challenges of reflective teaching. So basically, reflective teaching is not a walk in the park. It takes time, and some teachers rarely get the time because you have to mark, you have to check homework, you need to prepare for tests, you need to moderate. So there's never actually time that a teacher has to self-evaluate. It requires vulnerability, and the person needs to be able to admit that sometimes my lesson is not working. I'm unable to get through learners and now I need to fix it. It will separate the teacher who shows up from the one who's just making a difference. And you want to be the teacher who makes a difference, not the one who's just there to get a salary at the end of the month. But reflective teaching does have benefits. When it is done right, reflection leads to better teaching methods, stronger student understanding, growth professionally, and less burnout. Now, I'm going to share my perspective on reflective teaching. From why I stand, reflective teaching is the backbone of good education. It what keeps our teachers from not becoming robots, being chat GPT, and burning out. But it's not an easy thing to, like, every after lesson you need to evaluate yourself, assess yourself. It takes time, honesty, energy, and a lot of teachers often don't do this. So there you have it. Reflective teaching is a must-have skill. Like, if you're an educator, you need to do reflective teaching. And this is deeply rooted in South African education policies such as the CAPS and the MRTQ. It's challenging but powerful, messy but essential. Thank you for watching, and remember, the best teachers don't teach, they also reflect.